I'm Bev Adams. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. This is a cute little gift card holder. You can put a gift card for your local coffee shop in here, would be perfect. You could use the Whisper White narrow note cards and envelopes that are on page 19 of the Occasions catalog. That's the size I used. Unfortunately, I didn't have any on hand, so I made my own envelope and card. I used Coffee Cafe, and I also used Labels to Love, and I also used the Coffee Break Designer Series paper, which is very cute, all coffee themed. Now, I understand this is all sold out, so if you don't have this on hand, you can't make this one, but you could easily make your own Designer Series paper with the coffee beans and maybe even the sugar cubes, or you could even make a pattern with the stripes. Very easy. My ink pads are Early Espresso, Garden Green, Soft Sky, which is retiring, and Pear Pizzazz. I chose these to go with the colors in the Designer Series paper. And I am using the envelope punch board to make my envelope. This envelope is not one of the standard sizes that's on this chart, but I went over to the Crafty Owl. I'll have the link for you right here. There you will find an envelope expert or a box buster that you can tell it whether you want an envelope in millimeters or in inches, and it'll tell you what size to cut your paper. So my cardstock for my envelope is 6 1/8 square, and I am left-handed, so I need to turn it over to this side. I'm going to put this on the inside and have this for the outside. And my first score line is at 2 3/8, so 2 3/8 right here. I only need to measure it that one time. I'm going to punch and score. So I'm going to use the score tool that's included with the tool and run it down this little track. Turn it. I do not need to measure again. Just line up this little pointer with the score line. I don't know if you can see that score line or not. Punch and score. Whoops, I jumped the track. Turn, line it up with the score line, punch and score. Let me find that track really well. There we go. Turn it one more time, punch and score. I will be covering up the two sides, but I want to round the corners. So on the reverse side is a corner rounder punch. So I'm punching my two little ends. And so I'm just going to crease gently. And on the inside, I may need to trim off a little corner there. So I'm bringing in my paper trimmer. This trim, this corner, I just need to fold down one side so I've got a straight top and cut just so it fits in there to close. This one I just want to mark where it's crossing here. And so I'm going to put that mark right in the track. Again, I folded it down so I can have my square top, and I'll trim that. And I'm going to go ahead and finish assembling my envelope. So I'm going to just put some adhesive in here to hold this closed, and then down here to hold the bottom closed, and then I've got my envelope. I have a piece of crumb cake that is 4.5 by 5, scored at 2.5, and if you've got those long note cards, this is the size you'll have. You're just going to have one more fold at 1 1/4, and I do want to crease these, and I'm I've got two pieces of the same cardstock that I used for my envelope. I'm going to use either side of the designer series paper, so I think I'm going to do it that way. So I'm going to just adhere this piece on the inside, kind of centered. If it's not quite fitting, you want to be even on the open side. And then I'm going to turn it over and use the other side. On this section. I got ahead of myself and adhered my gift card holder before I was ready with the designer series paper. Put the adhesive on the sides and then on the inside. On the very sides, you want to be sure and leave room for your gift card between. You want to do this after you've got the designer series paper on it. And then I didn't get the stamping the border from Labels to Love in Early Espresso ink on a scrap of Whisper White cardstock. Pick your ink for your greeting to go with your designer series paper. For this one, it's pretty wide open, so I will use the garden green. And I'm stamping Life Happens, Coffee Helps. And I think it works really nicely on here. Punch it with my Everyday Label punch. And then the 1/8 inch punch on the end. I want to tie a square knot around the end, and it has come to my attention that not everyone knows how to do a square knot, so I'm going to wrap it around. I usually leave one end attached to the spool. I learned to do a square knot in Girl Scouts, and they drilled into us right over left, left over right. So I'm putting my right side over my left and go around. And I like to use my third hand, just an alligator clip from the electrical department of the hardware store. Then I need to do left over right. So the left goes over the right, turn it around through, and then I did not learn in Girl Scouts, but I've learned since to pull one side for a prettier knot. So I'm pulling on the side with the spool, and I've got a pretty knot, and trim the ends. And because I didn't detach it, that's really all the waste I have. If I had cut it, I might have a lot to cut off. And now we want to put our tag on. So I have 8 inches of the linen thread. If you are bothered by these folds, you can just run the bone fold under it, and it really just takes it away. I'm going to make a lark's head knot this time. I'm going to fold the thread in half and put the loop through the hole front to back, just enough to get my fingers through the loops. Then I'm going to reach through the loop and grab the ends and pull them, and it really makes a pretty knot. Then I'm going to tie this around my ribbon. So I'm going to go under. For this, you can do any knot or even a bow. I'm just going to tie another square knot, right over left, left over right, and then trim the ends. If you would like the full directions for this project, just come on over to bevadams.com. You can print out your directions for free. The link is right here, or you can look down below at the YouTube description and find the direct link there too. Thank you for stopping by. Talk to you soon.